What happened was when I found Peter and I talked about writers. Writers we like, musicians we like, songs we like, styles we like, what I do. And you know, there's a little bit of a problem with me in as much as I can go into sing in so many different areas, you know, because that's what I've always enjoyed to do. But my heart and my soul cries out for that rock soul stuff. The stuff that, you know, when I was 15, I was told by a few people in this business that that's too sophisticated and too old for you. You know, you're only a kid. But that's what I've always loved. I think I've always been a little bit old in my years, you know, as far as my musical tastes are concerned. You know, I was into the blues. I was into Ray Charles singing, "Drown in my own tears." You know, my father would go, well, I mean, actually, Ray wouldn't sing. He'd go, "Drown in my own tears." My father would say, "Get that bloody noise off." You know, I liked older, sophisticated music than most of my friends did at the age of 13, you know, 12 and 13.
And were you steered away from that by your sort of advisors around you at the time?
Yes, but
you were so young.
I was steered away, or I was steered into other directions because I would be working with people that I knew were experienced at getting hit records, you know, and that was the name of the game, you know. And even though deep down I wanted to sing these like heartbreaking blues songs, I understood what they were saying. You know, you're 15, you're 16, you're 17, you know, maybe you should try this. And so I thought, yeah. And I'm not saying that I should have, you know, I'm not saying this, that I'm changing my way of thinking or that I'm doing something that I want to do now because I did what I didn't want to do. Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do. They can convince you that there's another way to do something. But, you know, ultimately you make up your mind. Nobody was twisting my arm up my back. And I've had tremendous success, you know. So it's not like I did those things because other people told me to do them. I don't mean it to sound like that. I tried that and I had hits, and because of the type of stuff that I did, if I'd have sung the blues, I probably wouldn't have had a television series. I probably wouldn't have done a lot of things, and I enjoyed doing all that, you know. But then there is the other side of me, because I think there are different facets of a human being, and you know, they're not always visible. Every facet is not always visible. So that side of me, that Scottish, deep, angst-ridden side of me is still there. And that's what I want to do. But there's the other side of me too, you know, which was the light poppy side. So I'm hitting all those facets.
Mm. And how long did this actually take to make, Independence, the album?
Independence, the album took really about a year, but it took me 3.5 years to get the whole thing set up. Because, you know, people weren't waiting for me to just come back into the recording business like, "Oh, Lulu, glad to have you back." It was like, I was like a bit of an oddity, actually, after a while. You know, I could see people looking at me, you know, looking, thinking, "She doesn't look so terrible, you know." And, you know, she sounds quite good, you know. It was quite interesting, because I'm sure many people might think, because I've been around long and I have a reputation or I have a name, that, you know, things just come to you. But no, I had to travel around, talk to people, and in order to convince them that I was serious about recording again and being contemporary, being in the running, not being on the sidelines, I recorded several things and took them to record companies to let them hear, "This is what I've got. This is what I can do. This is what I want to do."
So it is like starting out again, really, like a new band.
Yeah. It just like a young, I suppose a young new band would be right now. Maybe doors would open because I had a name, but you know, I could see people looking at me funny, you know, bored slightly, you know, not that interested. And then sometimes they would get interested, you know, they put the thing on and they'd go, "Yeah," or they'd put the material on and they'd say, "I don't see you going this way. I see you going in another direction." And I could see, well, this is no good. I'm not going to be able to work with these people.
So you just stuck to your guns and got what you wanted.
Yeah. And I got a lot of encouragement the encouragement initially came from Barry Gibb, who I have tremendous respect and admiration for, and a lot of love. And Mike Rutherford, who I have a lot of respect and a lot of love for. They both said, yes, it's about time, get out there. And well, Mike Rutherford, though, said to me, both of them said to me, don't rush. And of course, I'm the type that wants it done now. And I heard them. I really heard them. And I took the time. It took the time it took because it was the time it needed to take.
And Bobby Womack, I'm Back for More, your last, which is a brilliant cover.
You like
Jean Carnes.
Jean Carnes and Al Johnson,
Yeah, that was brilliant. Was that an old favourite of yours?
Yeah. And that's another thing, working with Peter Robinson, who A&R'd the album, because he started his own record company, Dome, and then Dome goes through Parlophone. So Parlophone is my record company, Dome Parlophone. When we went with the staff, to like, Peter would come up with different songs and we'd talk about the style, and then we went to Parlophone and they were totally behind me. So it's worked really well for me. I'm really grateful. But coming up with Bobby, the idea for Bobby was, I think it was Errol Henry, who's one of the producers on the album, said, we want to do this song, we want to do this number. It'd be great to do a duet. This would be a good duet. I'm Back for More. He said, if you could get a voice like Bobby Womack, it would be great. So we got Bobby Womack.
And you didn't actually record it together, did you?
No, what happened was I had to go to Miami to work with Barry Gibb, and we just put down the track. So I put my voice on because we really were excited about the track. And I put my voice on, and we contacted Bobby, and his free time was when I had to go to Miami. So it works out. It was amazing. Put my voice on. Errol flew to Miami, to Los Angeles, where Bobby lives. 2 days, Bobby put his voice on, came back with it. That was it. I didn't even met the guy. It was really great.
So when you did meet, was that just for the video?
Yeah, we met for the video in LA. We met before we did the video, and it was easy. Okay. It might have been a disaster, but it wasn't. It was actually easy. Well, I suppose we're a couple of old pros, really. Been around a long time. So we got on really well. And then the video crew, Willie Smacks, who directed it, was really nice to work with. It just, the whole thing has been like a dream. I mean, sometimes like a bad dream, I'd wake up in the morning when I was going through, the meetings, talking to managers, talking to record companies. I felt very, very much on my own, alone. And a lot of fear. I had a lot of fear. And even though I felt a lot of fear in walking this, in making this journey, I still did it, So some mornings I would be full of adrenaline and excitement. But I have a huge ego. I didn't want to be knocked back and people say, we don't like you. And really, do you think you should bother? Or, and there was a lot of fear of that. And is it going to be good? Is it going to be great? It was really, it's been an incredible, out of all that, I think it's given me, this independence thing. It's made me feel stronger within myself. It's given me tremendous strength.